Good evening, everybody. Sam Dog, the infamous 253, coming at you with Dallas Stewart on a speakerphone. Dallas, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Yep, 9-5 in week 9. Now we're on to the week 10 picks of the 2023 NFL season. All right, starting us out, we got Thursday Night Football, an absolute toilet bowl. We got the Carolina Panthers going to Chicago to take on the Chicago Bears. Like I mentioned, toilet bowl to start it out. And freaking last week, the Chicago Bears let's see what happened with the Bears last week. New Orleans.
They lost a close one at New Orleans.
That's right. They were up for a little bit, and then they let New Orleans just get back in it. It was a pretty close game. Meanwhile, the Carolina Panthers last week, the Panthers. Oh yeah, they got beat by the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, Kenny Moore had 2 pick sixes for Indianapolis.
Yeah, easy picking for the Indianapolis Colts in this game. Panthers, Bears. Panthers pretty much, well, obviously the Bears are the reason the Panthers got Bryce Young in the first place because of that big trade. DJ Moore revenge game. Is Justin Fields back yet for Chicago?
I think he might be playing finally again.
Yeah. Give me the Chicago Bears to win this Thursday night toilet bowl. I'm taking the Bears.
Yeah, give me the Bears to win this Thursday night toilet bowl of the year. My God. I don't even know if Panthers or Bears fans will watch this game.
Yeah.
Man, what a terrible game.
Yeah. All right. And up next, we got the last international game, the last Germany game. We got the Indianapolis Colts taking on the New England Patriots. The Colts took care of their business against the Panthers, as we mentioned. Frank Reich could not get his revenge. And meanwhile, the New England Patriots, close battle with the Washington Commanders, but could not get it done against the Commanders. Granted, they were in it most of that game. They only lost that game 20-17 to Washington. Is that right?
Yeah, 20-17.
Yeah.
Like another time we picked New England and got it, and we whiffed on.
Yeah, especially after Washington traded away Chase Young and Montez Sweat. All right, give me the Colts to freaking get another win here in Germany. Gardner Minshew about to freaking get a win in Deutschland. Give me the Colts.
Yeah, give me the Colts to get back-to-back wins and get to 500. The Patriots are just in, like, I would say, tank mode at this point.
Yeah. The question is Bill Belichick going to be hanging around that place much longer? I've been seeing rumors about Bill Belichick, but I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think New England might only win like one more game the rest of the year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. Up next, we got the Cleveland Browns going to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. We all know what happened with the Ravens last week against us. Pretty much massacred us. Our offense played like absolute dog shit, and freaking the reason our defense was so gas. Granted, Boye and Mafe still improving for the Seahawks and looking really good, forcing fumbles and getting after the quarterback. Trey Brown having an impressive strip, but obviously that Ravens defense is way too much. Like I mentioned, Ravens defense is way better than the Cleveland Browns. Browns got Deshaun Watson back, and they shut out the Arizona Cardinals 27-0. So they handled Arizona with ease. Granted, they're playing Clayton Tune that week, and the Cardinals should be getting Kyler Murray back this week for week 10, which I've seen that he's expected to start. But like I mentioned, earlier during the year, obviously the Browns didn't have Deshaun Watson. They had DTR, and the Ravens just absolutely massacred them. And I'm going to be taking Baltimore to complete the sweep. Give me the Ravens.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Ravens to complete the sweep. I'll probably keep taking the Ravens until I can see somebody beat them.
Yeah, like I said, that Ravens defense is way better than Cleveland's defense. I know we were able to beat them in that close game, obviously because of a Jamal Adams play off the helmet where Julian Love got the interception, which gave us a chance. But I knew that Ravens defense was way, way, way better than Cleveland when we faced them. Granted, it was a fluke. They gave up a fluke onside kick, which was the reason why the Arizona game was a one-score game. Granted, that was garbage time. Pretty much had it in garbage time, and Arizona did the onside kick and got it because they kicked at Nelson Aguilar, which then he got the next one when they tried it again. That game should not have been a one-score game for the Ravens against the freaking Cardinals.
Yeah, I think the Ravens in that Cardinal game a few weeks ago, they took their foot off the gas.
Yeah. They had their foot on the gas definitely last week against us, you know. And that Ravens defense is more legit, though. And I trust that defense more than the Browns defense. So give me the Ravens.
Yeah, give me the Ravens.
All right. Up next, we got the Green Bay Packers going to Pittsburgh to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Jordan Love and the Packers beat the Los Angeles Rams without Stafford. Brett Rippon was their starting quarterback. I had no
And
idea
the Rams recently waived Brett Rippon and signed Carson Wentz.
The Rams waived Carson Wentz recently.
No, we're waived Brett Rippon and signed Carson Wentz.
Really? They just waived Brett Rippon and signed Carson Wentz to be freaking Stafford's backup?
Yeah, we totally whiffed on that one. We didn't know Stafford was going to be out.
Yeah, Jordan Love, man. Give him a win against the Rams. That's crazy. Meanwhile, the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers, obviously, crazy Thursday night game, managed to pull it off against the Tennessee Titans last week. That was a crazy game, man, especially with the way Will Levis almost let his team back, and then obviously through that interception in the red zone. Almost let a good comeback, but ultimately fell short. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Packers are going to be in for a letdown this week. I'm going to take the Steelers to get a win against the Packers here. So give me Pittsburgh.
Yeah, give me Pittsburgh to get to 6-3. I like the way that defense has been playing for Pittsburgh. It's the reason why they've been winning games.
And the reason Tomlin still and the reason why
it's the reason why they've been winning games is that defense. And their offense, it's just not very good.
We were out to throw Mike Tomlin in there. It's the reason why Mike Tomlin hasn't been sub 500 yet in his tenure at Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I would say it was that defense.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Anyway, Steelers at home over the Packers. All right. Up next, we got the San Francisco 49ers going to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. The 49ers coming off their bye week after losing 3 straight, recently losing to the Cincinnati Bengals 31-17. Jacksonville Jaguars, meanwhile, are they coming off their I don't think
they're coming off a bye also.
Yeah, they come off a bye week after they freaking what happened with them before their bye again?
Oh, I think they won at Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah, that's right. I didn't keep that list from a couple weeks prior to see that one. So yeah, Jaguars beating the Steelers fresh off the bye week. 49ers fresh off the bye week after losing 3 straight. Is Deebo Samuel still out for the Niners, and is Trent Williams still out for the Niners?
I have no idea.
Yeah, because we know the Niners we're going into the bye week with some serious injuries after losing 3 straight. It's a lot of concern. McCaffrey having some costly plays though too. Grant, he's been one of the bright spots on their offense so far going into that bye week, despite the 3 losses and Purdy throwing all those interceptions and getting stripped in that Cincinnati game. You know what? I'm gonna be doing this one. I cannot believe I'm gonna be doing this, but you know what? I'm going to actually take the Jacksonville Jaguars to hand the Niners a 4th straight loss. Not guaranteeing it's going to happen, but I like the way Jacksonville's playing, and I'm going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars this week.
Yeah, I'm actually going to take Jacksonville, too, to hand the 49ers their 4th straight loss. The 49ers have just been in a tailspin since they started off 5-0. But, man, I know San Francisco is going to be pissed because they're going to want to turn their season around.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
If they were rolling, they looked like the best team in the league after they blew out the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. And ever since then, it's just been downhill for them.
Big time.
This should be probably one of the best games of the week.
I hope it lives up to the hype, man. Definitely. And now San Francisco, pretty much after what happened with us against Baltimore, now is back on first place in the division because of the tiebreakers.
And they're 2-0 in the division.
Yeah, because we lost to the Rams, and then obviously we beat the Cardinals, and we haven't even faced the Niners yet. We won't be facing them until Thanksgiving. So, all right. But anyway, let's see what Jacksonville can do in this game. I'll take a shot in the dark on Jacksonville. Both teams
I like the way Jacksonville's been playing.
Doug Peterson,
ever since that they laid that egg at home against Houston, they've been on a roll.
Yeah. All right. Up next, we got the New Orleans Saints going to Minnesota to take on the Minnesota Vikings. A couple of wild card divisional playoff rematches and an NFC Championship rematch from 2009. Obviously, the Saints got that big win over the Chicago Bears, and the Minnesota Vikings barely pulled it off against the Atlanta Falcons last week. Granted, they lost their backup quarterback and had to play Josh Dobbs in for the game. Woo, yeah.
And he led the game-winning drive.
Yeah, Josh Dobbs led the game-winning drive.
He probably barely knew the playbook.
Yeah, granted, he just got into town to being traded from the Arizona Cardinals. But Cardinals probably were are expecting, obviously they're expecting freaking Kyler Murray back. So I guess it made sense in a way from the trade that they're getting Murray back for the season soon. But I'm gonna take the New Orleans Saints this one here. I like their defense a lot more. Granted, I know the Vikings have their weapons. It'll be interesting to see what Josh Dobbs does once they get Justin Jefferson back. And we already know he has Jordan Addison and KJ Osborne, but I'm gonna slightly lean this one towards the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with New Orleans because I think I favor their defense a little bit better than Minnesota's. Yeah, give me New Orleans to get to 6-4 and stay atop in the NFC South.
Yeah. All right. Up next, we got the Houston Texans going to Cincinnati to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Houston, CJ Stroud, probably with the highlight moment of his career so far, leading that game-winning drive and throwing that touchdown to Tank Dell with 6 seconds left in the fourth quarter to take the lead in the final seconds of the game to pull off that win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And meanwhile, the Cincinnati Bengals last week getting it done on Sunday Night Football against the Buffalo Bills at home in Cincinnati. So Bengals, they're finally got an AFC win, and it looks like they're getting Joe Burrow is back on track, and they are looking like they're ready to start rolling again.
Yeah, they've been on a roll since they started off 1-3.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, man, as great as a win that was for CJ Stroud to lead that game-winning drive, I think they're most likely going to be in for a letdown. So I'm going to go ahead and take Cincinnati in this game to take care of their business against Houston. Give me the Bengals.
Yeah, give me the Bengals to make it 5 in a row. They're clicking again on all cylinders.
Yeah. All right. Up next, we got the Tennessee Titans going to Tampa Bay to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Titans let that one game get away in Pittsburgh against the Steelers. Will Levis, hell of an effort. He's looking like the quarterback of the future for Tennessee. Just unfortunate that he threw that interception at the end of the game when they had a chance to go down and potentially tie it or win the game back on that Thursday Night Football. I think it was to tie it, wasn't it? Dallas?
I think it was to take the lead.
Yeah, they had a chance. Will Levis almost did, but unfortunately threw that interception. Meanwhile, Tampa Bay Buccaneers blew it in the final seconds to CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans.
That was a heartbreaker for Tampa.
It is, man. God,
both these teams had tough losses last week.
They really did. And I'm going to go ahead, though, but I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here to get a bounce-back win against the Titans. This will be another interesting game. See what Derrick Henry pulls out. But, I'm just going to slightly favor. Titans have pretty much disappointed us a lot in a lot of our picks. I just really don't trust the Titans at this point. So I'm going to take Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I'm going to take Tampa Bay as well to break their 4-game losing streak. Yeah, this is a tougher one to pick. Both these teams are just, I don't know, inconsistent.
Yeah. All right. Up next, you got the Detroit Lions going to SoFi Stadium to take on the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers beat the Jets with ease on Monday Night Football, and the Detroit Lions last week, are they coming off of their bye as well?
Yeah, and then before that they beat Vegas on Monday Night Football.
That's right. They beat Vegas with absolute ease. Yeah.
Yeah.
This will be a good game. The Lions are still rolling with that. They're 6-2.
6-2.
6-2. LA Chargers back
to 500.
Yeah, and the Lions are gonna knock them back to sub 500. Give me Detroit.
Yeah, give me Detroit to keep it rolling and get to 7-2 and just stay atop the
North
NFC North.
Yep. All right. Up next, we got the Atlanta Falcons going to Arizona to take on the Arizona Cardinals. The Falcons losing to Josh Dobbs at the end in Minnesota. Meanwhile, the Arizona Cardinals getting shut out by the Cleveland Browns. Kyler Murray is now back. The midget is now back for the Arizona Cardinals as it's looking. They said Kyler Murray is expected to start for Week 10. After that long hibernation, repairing that torn ACL that happened the week after we beat him 31-21 last season in Arizona. Murray is finally back at the helm, and Cardinals so far, you said they hold the number 1 pick, right? Or is that Chicago didn't fit because of Carolina's record still?
No, it's Arizona because I don't think Carolina's had their bye week yet.
Yeah.
Or no, Carolina's already had their bye week.
Yeah. All right. Falcons really just kind of falling off a little bit, but now Kyler Murray's back. I kind of want to make this. I kind of want to make this an upset here. I'm actually gonna go ahead for the first time this season. Don't think I've ever. I don't know. Well, it'll be interesting to see if Midget Murray, how rusty he is coming back. If he looks like rusty Deshaun Watson once he came back from that long suspension last year. But I'm gonna actually take a shot in the dark, and I'm gonna go ahead and take the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, I can't do it. I still think Atlanta finds a way to win.
Split for I don't know, man. It's like I just feel like with Kyler Murray and then Taylor Heineke being at the helm at quarterback, but is the Arizona Cardinals truly tanking?
Atlanta's so up and down.
Jekyll and Hyde.
It's not. I guess it's not a bad upset pick. But I can only see Arizona winning like one more game, and I think that's against maybe Chicago.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what they do against the Falcons.
I don't know. They might win this game. They might win 2 more games and finish 3-14.
And blow their chances at the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Carolina, I think, is way worse than them. And that will be virtually giving the number 1 pick to the Chicago Bears. All right. We got a split. Dallas taking Atlanta. I'm taking Cardinals for the first time. We'll see what happens. I just feel some way with Kyler Murray being back that might spark him here.
Maybe
to a win. All right. Up next, we got the New York Giants taking on the Dallas Cowboys. The Giants just lost Daniel Jones for the year with a torn ACL after getting blown out by Aiden O'Connell and the Las Vegas Raiders. Meanwhile, the Dallas Cowboys in a close battle with the Philadelphia Eagles, but just couldn't quite pull it off. The Eagles are back on top of the NFC for sure. In my opinion, Eagles are the best team in the NFC by far and away.
Yeah.
And they're looking like it. But Giants, man, just when you think it couldn't get worse, it just continues to get worse and worse and worse. Give me the Dallas Cowboys to get the sweep and the lock of the week.
Yeah, Cowboys in a lock. A rematch of that Sunday night week 1 demolishing of the where they beat them 40-0.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a similar outcome again.
I don't think the Giants. I don't even know if the Giants are going to win another game this year. No. They might have the number. They might get the number 1 pick.
Yeah, but remember this Carolina still. Carolina's worse. We'll see. But is it going to be Tyrod Taylor starting for the Giants?
Technically, if Chicago or Carolina finishes with the worst record, then Chicago gets the number 1 pick.
Who's going to be starting quarterback? Is it going to be Tyrod if he's out of the hospital, or is it going to be DeVito again?
It's probably going to be Tommy DeVito again.
Yeah. Ooh.
I can't see the Giants winning another game this year.
Nah, me neither, man.
There's no point for them to try to even win. They just need to tank at this point.
Agreed.
And draft either Drake May or Caleb Williams and trade Daniel Jones in the offseason.
I don't think anybody's going to bite on the Daniel Jones trade
or
or want to take on that contract. No way in hell they take on that contract. Hell, they could even take a shot and maybe try to draft Michael Penix for all we know with how good he's looking.
Or just release Daniel Jones in the offseason.
Yeah, they'll still have a lot of dead cap regardless. If they release them, they'll have a lot of dead cap on that one too. All right. Up next, we got our game. We got the Washington Commanders coming to Lumen Field to take on the Seattle Seahawks. The Washington Commanders got a 3-point win over the New England Patriots. Meanwhile, Seahawks, we all know what happened with us last week in Baltimore, and the fan base is just going crazy right now with this whole thing with Geno Smith and wanting Drew Lock. And, Brendan Nelson painted a perfect picture with talking about this whole thing with Drew Lock. Check out the video I shared in my community of Seahawks Brendan Nelson. He gives you a perfect answer to why with certain things. I mean, granted, if Drew Lock would have been in there, I don't think it would have meant much of a difference against that Ravens defense.
No, I don't think he would have.
But like I wanted to address the fan base on this with the state of the team. What we have is what we have. I think maybe if Pete really wants to, maybe he'll make the change at quarterback. We'll see, but I'm not going to really get into that because what we have is what we have. It's like 2011 with freaking Charlie Whitehurst and Tavares Jackson as the quarterbacks. But this time it's with Geno Smith and Drew Lock. What we have is what we have. We just got to tough out for the rest of the season. And I guarantee Pete and John, most likely with our first pick in the 2024 draft, will most likely take a quarterback. depending on which one falls to us. There's a lot of quarterbacks coming out in the 2024 draft this coming season.
Yeah, Gino has played. I would say this: Gino has played bad enough for him to get benched.
He really has, yeah.
But I'm still just not a believer. I still think Geno Smith's better than Drew Lock.
Yeah,
I'm just not a believer in Drew Lock.
Yeah, and look at what Drew Lock did in Denver.
Yeah, there's a reason that Denver traded him.
Yeah, and then also, granted, he had that one good drive for us in the Giants game, but let's be real. There's a reason he's the backup.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, but bright spot for the defense. Boye Mafe has been the most improved in year 2. I really like what I'm seeing from Boye Mafe this year for the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Tariq Woolen, Devin Witherspoon, let's be real, though. Our offense wasn't doing anything. Our defense was absolutely gassed out there in Baltimore. And like I mentioned...
Yeah, I blame the offense more because the defense was on the field for over 40 minutes.
It really was. And then, obviously, only getting held to just 3 points, and then Gino having his worst passer rating with like a 40-point-something passer, 40.5 passer rating, the lowest so far of the season for him.
He has got to play better. There's just no other way around it.
Yeah, Washington Commanders, we know they play Philly tough, and I'm not going to overlook them with the weapons they have with Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel. And, granted, I know they traded Montez Sweat and Chase Young away, so that's big for the defense. So we got to really get the running game going again, too. And Shane Waldron needs to do better on his play calls, too, man. Shane Waldron's been calling some shitty plays for us, too, during this season. I really don't know if we really keep Shane Waldron.
There's been a lot of heat on Shane Waldron now.
Yeah, the question is,
with the offensive struggles,
do we move on for Shane Waldron after the season 2 if it continues?
Maybe. What has he been here 3 years?
Yeah, pretty much.
I think something to discuss if the offense doesn't improve the rest of the season.
Yeah, moving on from Shane Waldron. All right, we'll see. But regardless of this, Tom, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the Seahawks to get it done at home against the Washington Commanders. Not overlooking them, but I feel like this needs to be a game where this is probably one of our last few winnable games that we have before we take on the Los Angeles Rams for the second time. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Seahawks to bounce back. They have to have just a sour taste in their mouth after that performance against Baltimore. And I can't see them losing back-to-back, and especially with a tough stretch coming up. And you don't want to let it snowball.
Yeah.
They cannot let that Baltimore loss snowball.
They can't.
Or the season will get away from them.
And like I said, once we got into that tough stretch of the season, once we got the toughest part of the schedule, I was like, remember what I said about the toughest part of the season? Is we're about to find out what kind of team we really are. And so far, it's not looking good so far after that Baltimore game.
Yeah, we looked like frauds last week.
Yeah.
The media was starting to hype us up. They were starting to feel good about themselves, and they got it completely exposed.
Yeah, we knew what this team was. We knew what the Seahawks team was.
That 5-3, it's an ugly 5-3.
Yeah. And that's telling the honest to God truth, but to fans out there with the whole quarterback situation, that's all I gotta say is, just it is what it is, and just deal with it for the year, and we'll see if we draft a quarterback next year. But what we have is what we have, and we just gotta freaking roll with it. Pete will make the decision on who's the quarterback, but just roll with it for the time being. You just gotta tough it out for the year. And one more thing, enjoy the football season while we have it. Just gotta enjoy the rest of the football season while we have it, because we are already halfway through this season.
Yep.
All right. Up next, we got the New York Jets taking on the Las Vegas Raiders on Sunday Night Football in Vegas. The Jets got manhandled by the LA Chargers, and the Raiders pretty much took care of their business with ease against the New York Giants. Let's be real. They were playing
Antonio Pierce's debut as their interim head coach.
Yeah, and Aiden O'Connell winning the game as their starting quarterback. And the Jets obviously got, like we mentioned, absolutely just manhandled.
Wilson got pummeled back there.
How many sacks did Khalil Mack have in that game? I didn't even watch the game.
I don't know. How many sacks did the Chargers have? Like 7?
You tell me. I didn't even watch most of that game. I didn't even watch the game, but this is another one of those dumpster
Man,
bulls on Sunday night.
why can't they flex this one?
Yeah, why?
Ravens, Browns, or 49ers, Jags. This one should have been flexed.
Yeah. But,
Another bad primetime game.
yeah. Oh, by far and away. But, the Jets do have a better defense, so I'm going to take the New York Jets to go into Vegas and steal a win in the Death Star. Give me the Jets.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Jets to bounce back after that pathetic performance last night. Yeah, they have a better defense than the Raiders. The Raiders were playing the Giants last week.
Mm-hmm. All right. Last but not least, Monday Night Football. We got the Denver Broncos going to Buffalo to take on the Bills. The Broncos are coming off of their bye week after they freaking finally got off of that long losing streak to the Kansas City Chiefs. And meanwhile, the Buffalo Bills got handled by the Cincinnati Bengals at home on Sunday Night Football. Ooh, Josh Allen versus Russell Wilson. I'm going to go ahead, though, and take the Buffalo Bills. I trust the Bills a lot more to bounce back. I mean, granted, Broncos, they had a nice win. They're going to be rested up from the bye week, but they're going into Buffalo. Buffalo's a tough place to play. That Bills Mafia crowd is going to be roaring and loud, and they're going to be pissed about dropping that game to Cincinnati. Give me the Buffalo Bills to just roll the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, give me Buffalo to bounce back. I can't see them fall into 500. This is just too important of a game for them to drop. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Buffalo to get to 6-4, and Buffalo fans can kind of not panic as much because there's starting to be some panic in Buffalo.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I mean, look at the games they dropped. Week 1 against the Jets.
They're a very mediocre team this year, Buffalo.
Yeah, lost to the Jets week 1, lost to the Jaguars in London. Frick, who else they freaking lose to? Oh, who else they lose to other than the Bengals?
Somehow they let their defense gave up that game-winning drive to New England. I still don't know.
Oh yeah, that's right. They did
lose.
New England. That's right. They did lose to the Patriots.
Had an ugly win against
the Giants. Yep.
Ooh. There's just something off with them this year.
Oh, for sure. All right, there you have it. Week 10 picks. Dallas and I split on Falcons and Cardinals, but we agree on Bears over Panthers, Colts over Patriots, Ravens over Browns, Steelers over Packers, Jaguars over 49ers, Saints over Vikings, Bengals over Texans, Buccaneers over Titans, Lions over Chargers, Cowboys over Giants, Seahawks over Commanders, Jets over Raiders, and Bills over Broncos. Let's see how we do. We went 9-5 last week. Let's see how we do week 10, and let's hope for a bounce back for the Seahawks. Anyway, catch y'all later. If you ain't with it, you ain't infamous. And as always, go Seahawks.